Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's client webinar. If you can hear us and see us, please go in the chat, say hi, let us know where you're joining from, what weather you're having. We are live from Montreal, and Montreal, the weather is not great today, right, Yannick?
Summer has not started yet.
So I don't know about everyone else on the webinar, but hopefully we managed to brighten our day today with the webinar, right?
Absolutely.
All right, let's get started. All right, so today for our May product update webinar, we will be talking about version 50.3.2, which was released last week. As always, we will have myself, Customer Success Manager. We will have Yanick as well, that is our CEO. Hi, Yanick.
Hello, Rosalie.
Hi. And we will have Isabel as well in our customer success team that will be manning the chat. And if you have any questions as well. All right. As always, how to be a great webinar participant. What you need to do, just make sure you participate to our polls. We'll have a couple today. Use the react button as well. We talk about a lot of things. It can go really quickly if you're able to just send us some emojis that you're liking what we talk about or you don't like. You can do that as well. There's no worries. And then make sure to use the Q&A to ask questions. And otherwise the chat as well. You can ask those questions in the chat for everybody or just to us, that's no worries. We'll try as much as possible to answer the questions today, but if we're not able to, we will reach out to you afterwards. Perfect. All right, what do we have on the agenda for today? So we'll talk about the new features and improvements from 50.3.2, like I mentioned. Then we'll talk a little bit about ideas voting. We've done that in the last two webinars, so we just continue doing that every webinar now. And we'll touch on our product roadmap as well. And then we'll finish off a little conclusion, best practice, etc. Perfect. All right. So just a reminder, we talk about the release notes every time, but you can access those from our community. We've started adding some emojis. We've mentioned that previously, but we've added a legend at the top of the release notes now. So at least you can know what the emojis mean. So we have the upgrade consideration emoji, customer submitted ideas, and hot stuff, which we consider like our favorite features, our really cool ones. They're all cool, but the fire emoji is what it's for. And for the upgrade consideration, that's going to allow you to do a quick search. So when you're upgrading, if you want to know what's most important, what you need to do on your end as a system admin, you can just search for that emoji and it's going to show you all the most relevant notes there. Perfect. So now let's have a look at our full list. Thank you, Yanick. We'll be looking at some things around Project Import Wizard, the Workspace, Resource Planner, which are our two main interfaces, and then my Timesheet. And what we'll do before moving forward, actually, let's start with our first poll that I usually do for the webinar attendance. Sorry, I missed that one. So yeah, we just want to know if this is your first webinar. Sorry, I skipped that one, but I know we have a lot of new customers that joined the client in the last few weeks. So maybe we have a couple of new people. We just have regulars today, mostly. All right, perfect. Thank you so much. Yeah, so welcome back to everyone then. And let's do our, perfect. Let's do our other poll, which is, let me see, that one. Perfect. So this is going to be for our first feature that we talk about today, the Project Import Wizard. And we're just curious to know if, one, you're using templates because the Project Import Wizard is for templates. And then two, how you're creating your projects. If you're doing it manually, so create new project and then you select all the attributes, or if you're doing automatically, so maybe you have some flows in the background when something happens in your organization, then boom, automatically the project is created. We're just curious because this specific feature is very relevant for people that are creating projects automatically right now. So I'll leave you a couple of seconds. And it looks like right now we have most people, I would say, are either creating manually or having a mix of manual and automatic. So that's
good. So we'll cover both scenario yeah, it's going to be a great feature to showcase. Thank you very much, Rosalie. We're ready to move on into the feature demo.
Yeah, let's do it.
Perfect. So I'm on my own screen now. One thing I want to point out is that we do include in our advisory bar that you can drop everywhere, but in the home page, it's a great place to drop it. And from there, you can access directly our release notes. So that new legend you've mentioned about, and
Yep.
you have the legend on top here. And for people that are upgrading, you want to focus on those emojis, like we said. Those are maybe fields you need to add on the page. Maybe it's new button you need to show to some of your users. So those are great consideration. And for example, if I'm clicking on this one here that we're going to be looking into, you have this one I considered my hot one. It's a new scheduling mode that we're introducing. So you can access this release notes directly from client interface.
That's great.
Perfect. Okay, so the feature for today, we're going to be working out of this project, play around core module implementation. If we're looking at the structure of this project, it's a project at this point that is already in pipeline, but only in pipeline and still in the sales process. But everything I'm going to talk about applies for live project too. And we have a simple structure with milestones. We have a monitor task that's going to come handy when we're going to talk about that time-based scheduling in a few minutes. Okay, so this is the structure of my project. And what I want to show at this point is that we have that button here that we've relabeled. It was a task template before, so now it's Project Import Wizard. When you click on it, it's going to bring you the same interface that you saw in the Project Import Wizard when you're creating a new project, where you can pick any project template, but also any kind of task template. So let's say this project has already been created, the first one I was looking at, the core implementation, but the customer is telling me during the sales cycle or when I'm starting the project, I might be interested in bundle 2 and bundle 1 as well. So you can easily select those, add them here, either as whatever project template, test template, existing project. And even from our marketplace, you can realign them for a second. This is going to be the order that they're going to be appearing in your project. If I want to remove one, I can do it. By doing this, it's going to do that selection. As I save, now it's going to add it. For the moment, that button adds it at the bottom of the existing project. I'm going to tell you about the next evolution of this as well when this finish loading, and we're going to look back at our project.
Yeah, and just to confirm, like we had the wizard, we released that a couple of months ago, but what's new, it's available for everybody, no matter how you're creating your project.
It's really adding existing task on an existing project or an existing, before we were only able to use it on a new project. Now you can do it on an existing project. So now if I'm looking back at my workspace and I'm refreshing my interface, I'm going to see at the bottom, I have all the tasks that were included in my template has been added at the bottom. So the SaaS widget add-on bundle 1. With this dependency and everything, and then I can link that. Let's say we want to do this just after the build. We're gonna start that implementation, let's say, and then we're not gonna train or do the QA before, so you can just realign everything in your project the way you want it. And it includes, like it does on all our import, everything related to the task, the description, the amount, the billing, project assignment, estimated hours, everything has been carried over.
Yeah. And if I can add something as well, if you are creating your project automatically and you haven't leveraged the wizard much lately, maybe that's a to-do list on your end, like to start creating those task templates, making sure you have those descriptions as well. And even if you go in a release note and you do a quick control search for wizard, you're going to find all our previous release notes that are about the wizards. And then you can see all the functionalities that are related to that you may want to start leveraging now that this is possible.
And maybe you've seen it when you're using a task template. One of the good way of configuring a task template is to have a parent task that's going to hold all the tasks within your task template. So not when it got added, it was added at the bottom completely here, but it was already grouped like this. So it's very easy for me just to move it around my project and position it elsewhere, and it holds everything together. You can even eventually remove those parent tasks if you don't need them, but that's a proper way of structuring task templates.
Perfect.
Good.
Yeah, On
We
to the
go
next.
back to the agenda. So next will be the some text alignment on our text field. So RTA means rich text area. So those are the one that you can put bolds or links and things like that, where we have now an autosave. And we're going to be talking a little bit about the assignment view UI that we didn't show, I think, in the all the latest webinar, product webinar.
Yeah,
It's a small improvement, but we're going to discuss this specific functionality, which is very efficient. Okay, so you remember default text alignment. Okay, so I'm going to switch now to my preset estimation. So when I'm estimating a project, I want to just have a few columns only. The column I have now, it's my project name, and so I can easily add task here. But I also have my description field. The way that my preset is set is that I'm only seeing the field length. I'm not seeing it wrap. But if we recall, we can wrap text as well.
New feature from
Previous.
last webinar, the one before, I think.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, the wrapping was added the few
Yeah,
last
it was one of your favorite
yeah.
team
We missed
favorite,
that
the
one.
art that we didn't put any today. This is it. The thing though is that in the previous release, it was all center aligned. So we were applying a filter on top that was centering it. So now we're respecting the order. So if you have what you feel as some left alignment like this, it's going to be respected. But let's say you want to center this information in the page. And let me just do like this. Now it's going to respect that information as well. Okay, so that's the key thing about that formatting of fields. It looks like it's supposed to and intended to. So align as per the rich text area. To open this up, I just double click for people who was wondering. And to wrap it, I just right click on the header and select wrap or not.
I think for anyone that had bullets or numbering in their description field, that's really nice to have it left aligned on. Yeah.
So okay, so next one, rich text area field autosave. So that's another cool thing. Okay, so the purpose and before I'm just talking about the feature itself, is that let's say you're during a sales cycle, the customer is asking about adding an add-on bundle like we just did, but you also want to take, he's also talking about some specific configuration information that you want to add. So requirements, new requirements. You can easily open up that description field and take notes and say, okay, for that bundle, he wants a connection to an existing system. And taking notes, it's key when you're doing an interview and taking requirements, but forgetting to save, it's really problematic. And that was something that within Salesforce and within Client, sometime if you forget and you close your browser, you might lose if you haven't saved. So the cool feature we've added now, so it's auto saving. So every, I think it's 3 or 5 seconds, everything I'm typing is going to be saved in the description field. So I'm never going to drop any in notes I've already taken. And this becomes a real tool that you can use during requirement gathering phase. For me, it always kind of stopped me of using some of those fields because I need to always remember of saving. And when you're doing a sales call, switching between screens, you're gonna forget. So now it's not a problem anymore. So it auto save, and by doing done, so use it during requirements gathering. Have client open when a customer talk to you during project meetings, so you can add tasks, take description of new functionality ones. So this is the purpose of that autosave.
Perfect. There's really no excuse now for not using the description field. Maybe we'll start using it more as well. All right.
A question I see on the web chat, this is only saving the description field. So it's really an autosave here. For everything else, it's already autosaving. So it's all live data, right? So like if I do 8 now, it's 8 everywhere in the system. It's just those text fields. Before we had a save button and a cancel button. Now we just have autosave. If you made something by mistake, just do undo, Control Z, and then you're going to be backtracking, but the autosave functionality is that's it. Now it's for that autosave, it's only on the description field. It's not on the other text field. The other text field, as soon as you hit enter. So let's say I have my next step field here. So let's say my next step field, if I'm entering information, as soon as I press enter, it's auto-saving. So there's no additional UI. This one is because there's a pop-up because it's a rich text field and you need to edit. So it's applying on that. I'm not sure if the question were for everyone. So I was answering those questions in the chat.
Yep. Perfect.
Okay.
For the next one, let me just launch a little poll for the assignment view. So we thought, because we're talking about assignment view, let's do a quick poll and see if people are actually using that view or not. So we're talking, this view is in the workspace. So in the workspace, you have the grid view, the timeline view. The assignment is where you see columns for the different resources. So we're just curious to know if people in the webinar are using that view or not. And it looks like people are using it mostly. So
Oh, perfect. Awesome. I'm glad you use it. I
everyone,
think this is very insightful to have that view, and it's giving you a lot of flexibility in terms of scheduling and estimating at the beginning of a project the different scheduled hours. So first thing is that you can see here on the grid, if I'm selecting the assignment configuration, I'm gonna have my left side, my grid, and on the right side now, I have my project assignments that are associated. So you can see here I have a project manager and a solution admin. So that's why, and I can see there's 16 hours that's been assigned to the solution admin and 8 to the project manager. Can reorder, and the options are, if I right click, I can do some stuff. I can even change the bill rate. If I'm editing, I can even change the bill rate if I have to change the bill rate on that specific resource. And it does calculate hours and scheduled revenue. So it's very useful. The improvement though, it's a pretty much the visibility of it. Before, just the lines here, they were not as visually the contrast was less, so it was a bit more difficult. So we've improved a little bit the layout of it, but I thought that was good, showcasing that UI. It's because it's been a while that we didn't show it during one of those webinars.
perfect.
Simple improvement, but that's gonna really help people that are using it, and I'm happy to hear that a lot of people on this call are using it.
The workspace is looking nicer and nicer. Just 6 months ago was like completely different thing. So let's continue on that end. Perfect. I think we're ready for the next feature for preset.
There's a question on the workspace. So any custom, the question was, would it be possible to allow the option to add custom field to view in the workspace? You can already do it. It's just you need to edit the field set of your the task object. And by editing the field set, you can put any custom field you have on project or task. So it's 2 different field set. But just by updating it, you can absolutely add your custom field. So Darian, if you can write to support if you need help setting this up, but absolutely you can add custom field. Okay, so let's go back to our slide. Okay, next one is the Workspace Resource Planner. We've added some sharing information or sharing options for our preset. I'm here. Any preset that I have, I can share if you recall. So, and we've introduced a few new functionality in the latest release. For people that have a customer community, now you have more options. So you can either share to only your internal project resource, that specific preset. So meaning that you're gonna exclude every customer community user that you might have, or you can just share to those community user. And please remember that if you're using our community, you should have the Community Plus licenses. If not, come and see us because of the sharing. This is a requirement for sharing presets. It needs to be the plus side of things, but we have those two new options that's giving you more control, and to make sure that you don't expose any preset to your customer community. Now you just have to select this one here, all your internal resource, and this will take care of it.
And this is also available in the resource planner because you can also share presets in the resource planner. So it's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Perfect.
Yeah. My schedule.
Yep.
My schedule supporting preset. So this my schedule, it's I love this UI on the homepage. I love our new homepage because seriously, when you're delivering a project, you have everything you need on a single project front or a dashboard, or I'm not sure how to call it, but in one view. And looking at my schedule is that UI that's filtering out on just the assignments that you have. In this case, I can see that I have my 19 hours of schedule this week, 13 next week. I have some vacation coming over as well. And you add those options, but for example, if you want to add the empty rows, in the past, you were not able to save it. Now we've brought back the presets on this specific page as well. So now you can easily save your presets and create new one. So I might just want to look at my active projects, so nothing that is in the sell cycle. And so this way I can see only mine because I've applied a few filter preset in here. Yeah, so that's the purpose of having those preset on the My Schedule page to, again, simplify your life. So when you're going to land always on the same one, and if you want to see your workload in a different lenses, you can just switch it easily.
Yeah, and this is a homepage that needs to be configured unless you're a very new customer. So if you don't see this setup on your end and you want to have this set up, you can reach out to our team. We'll help you set it up. It's pretty straightforward and simple, but if you want to take advantage of this new feature.
And I think there's two things we're covering in the release notes. I think we've put a screenshot of what it is. And on the e-learning, if I recall, Rosalie, we have one about the homepage, and we kind of showcase those layouts, so you can just copy it and do it. Ask your Salesforce admin to do it.
Yeah, maybe we can drop it in the chat, the link to that course. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So next thing, resource planner. We were in it's a resource planner, but it was My Schedule. And now where we're going to look at is a new some enhancement in displaying some value. So on regards to the actuals hours, but also the concept of hours and percentages, we offer those value. And now we've added more level where you can see those value. And again, this is available on all our workspace. Okay, so now you can see let me just collapse this here. So this you might have seen. So though you can now see the number of hours, 19 hours, which is 48% because I'm based on a 40 hours week. But if I was based on a 30 hours week, it would take that into account. And it's showing me both value at the same time. In the past, though, we were only doing it on one level. Now we're doing it on every level. So we can see it on the project side of things, and you can even see it on the task side of things. So we brought those percentages available on every level. So this way you can really see what's building up your cases, not just by hours, but by percentages as well. So that's one of the two. The other one was display actual hours. So the actual hours I can, for example, let me just go back 1 week. So the actual hours, now we've included a small icon here that's showing the number of hours log. And you show it, and maybe this one is going to be better if I go on my global resource planner. So let me switch to that global planner. And again, I'm going to do display actual hours. And I'm going to go back one. Okay. So you can see for Roxanne that I've logged 17 hours this week, 38 last week, and I can see the breakdown again per project and and also per task. So you can see those breakdown of logged hours. So again, it's just a question of bringing more visibility, more control, so you can interpret and see those value. And we've put the icon to show you the difference between our different labels.
Perfect.
I'm just sure if I was clear on that one, Rosalie. Anything?
Yeah, we've made a lot of little tweaks to the resource planner. Every release, we have something else. So yeah, I think it makes sense. And if there's anything else that's missing or visibility things that you're still missing for being able to be efficient in resource planner, let us know. Reach out to our support team, and we'll log it as a feature request. But these are nice things I think our customers were
Well, having the eye level is good, but then when you want to slice and dice and see a bit deeper, now you have all those level coming in, and there's still small improvement that's going to come. So visibility wise, for example, I think we're going to add a space to make it a bit better. There's still some tweak we're going to be doing in this thing, but yeah, it's giving you the granularity you need now to interpret your different project on every level, either on the global resource planner or on my schedule or the way you want to slice and dice it.
Yeah, and I think we had the question as well if it was possible to download the resource planner in CSV file. I don't think it is now, but it is possible for those who are not aware to download it. Not in CSV, but we can definitely log it.
I would be curious to know why you need
What you
to
want to
download
do,
it,
yeah.
but yeah, maybe it's to use it in a BI system, but this you could probably do it with records instead.
Yeah.
Okay, so going to the next one, time-based scheduling. Okay, so this is another great improvement we're doing to the platform in terms of scheduling. So it's one of our new scheduling mode that we've been talking a lot in the past. So if I want to do, let me get a concrete example. So yeah, switch back. I don't want to see the actual hours, but I don't want to hide the empty rows in this case. So I have my monitor task that in the project we were looking at before, if you recall. So it's a task that I want my staff or my team or myself to spend 5 hours per week, let's say, for the next 3 weeks on this monitoring task. Okay, so that's one of the use case. Now what I can do, and let me switch to the day view for this. It's going to be a bit simpler. Let me center to today. And so I'm going to talk from next week. For the next 3 weeks, I'm going to select this task. So, and what we've added, you can see here on top, we have a new tab. Okay, so the way of doing it before with that UI still remain. We're just adding new ways of doing things on that new tab, and we're gonna be adding more mode. And at some point, we're gonna consolidate the first tab here. But for now, you have that new one if you want to try it out and use it. And the concept is that between those dates I've selected, I want to assign 5 hours per week. So you can do per day, per week, per month, per quarter. And you have a selection as well of which status. Is it soft book? Is it book? Is it a project that is in sales? And a checkbox that's considering the time off. Okay, so what I'm going to do is actually let me do 30 hours per week on that monitoring task for those 3 weeks. So now what it's going to do, it's going to create that schedule, and it's going to respect my 30 hours for those 3 weeks. And you see that there's a different breakdown. So here for the week 2 and 3, I have 6 hours per day, which 5 times 5, it's 30. But because I said respect holiday and Memorial Day, it's next Monday, it skipped Monday, but it increased the number of hours to total 30 hours on the next following days. So this is the logic for this. And again, if I say, okay, then I'm going to start with this, and then for the next month, we're going to be doing only this week here. I'm going to do another, actually, let me just go another week deeper. Let's say for those 2 weeks here, the scenario now is going to be 5 hours per week, not 30. And I want you to schedule 1 hours per day. So this schedule here, it will set the number of hours. For now, it needs to be the exact same amount, so 5. So now it's going to schedule 5 hours, 1 hours per day for those 2 weeks in here. Yeah, but you can see because I've on this mode, because I fixed the 1 hours, it skipped my holiday, and it didn't redistribute because I forced 1 hours per day at the bottom. So, and this is maybe we require some feedback about some of those subtlety, just maybe to, I think it's a proper behavior. We're gonna be discussing other behavior and improving this as well.
Perfect.
Right?
Yeah, and this is the first iteration. So yeah, try it out, give us your feedback, and then you'll probably see the notification coming in the next release, if it makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah, this is good. And again, it groups everything, right? So if I say, oh, no, I don't want to delete this specific group, I can just right click and it's going to delete only the blue one. It's going to leave my previous one I did. So this is how you play with that new mode. And again, it's going to align my dates based on what I've now set. So now my monitor task is if I'm going back to my timeline execution. Oops, just clicked. Now my monitor task is going to be sitting where I selected. So for the next 3 weeks, like I just did. But if I book more in the future, it would also change those dates in. But this is one new great addition to our scheduling when we've been waiting for this for a long time. So now they're coming.
Yeah, and if you want to leverage that checkbox for the time off and the holidays, then make sure that in your org you actually configured your time off and holidays. So not everyone is using that, but if you want to use that checkbox, you would have to do that in the first.
Yeah. And I didn't explain the behavior if you uncheck it. So if you uncheck it, it's gonna still plan hours on the day that you're off. So this is what you're gonna do. So it's gonna just still don't do anything because of your audits. Okay, and the last thing we want to show on the demo, it's on the timesheet, and it's another productivity tool, so you don't have to save, and that every time you're coming back, you're gonna have the best view possible. So if I'm going to my timesheet, and depending on how it's set up, it might be looking a little bit different than mine. Maybe you have more columns, maybe less. Maybe you don't have 4 toggles, maybe there's 6. So there's a few settings to enable more of those stuff. The previous behavior is that you add to recheck or uncheck your component and your toggles every time you were loading my timesheet. So now what the system does, let's say I'm leaving all those and set up like this, and I refresh my page, just gonna recall my last settings, and it's gonna load with the same toggle on and the same view. So if I prefer having my comments mode view instead of my standard task view, I can have it load every time I select those checkbox or toggles.
Nice.
So, yeah, simple thing, but again, you don't want to need to have switch view. We're also in the next release or the one after, we're also improving the layouts of the timesheet, so it's going to be even more responsive. So again, this is another UI we're investing to. We all know that it's not your favorite thing of the week to do your timesheet, but at least we're going to make it efficient.
Perfect. So yeah, that was our last one. And of course, on the next slide, Yanick, we've included as well a couple extra ones that we have, less notable that we haven't talked about today. But after the presentation, we'll share the slide deck, and then you can click on each one to view the links. I'm just going to finish with a little poll. Yeah, let's do it for our new features and upgrade, just based on what we've talked about today. So I've added the list of all the features we've mentioned. We're just curious to know which ones you're most excited about. And then we want to know if you have already upgraded or not. And I already see some votes for the time-based scheduling, which makes sense. I think a lot of people that join our webinars are heavily interested in the resource planner and are using it a lot. So any improvement that are related, yeah, that's what I'm seeing. So all the features that are most exciting is all the time-based scheduling, everything related to the resource planner. So that makes a lot of sense. And
that's
again,
why there was hot stuff next to it.
That makes sense. It's hot for us. It's hot for the customers as well. Yeah, it looks, and some project import wizards as well. Great, because the project import wizard, the first one we mentioned, was one that the moment we released it, it was available first just for a new project. The moment we released it, we got so much feedback on people that were like, oh my God, this is amazing, but we can't use it yet because our projects are automatically created. So it does make sense that people are excited about that one.
And I said I was going to mention something that's on the roadmap. So now it's a button on the project for that word wizard, but eventually you're going to be able to right click here and say insert task template, and it's going to insert that task template directly where below where you've right clicked. This is something we're going to add. So now it's a button on the project. Eventually it's going to be integrated in the workspace also.
Perfect. Nice. All right. Okay, so let's move on to our next section. I'm going to end this poll. Perfect. All right. So in the next section, we want to talk a little bit about our roadmap and ideas voting. So now we're on our third time that we're asking you to vote for ideas. This month, we've retained 3 ideas. So in the past month, you've been voting for your favorite ones. These are the 3 most popular ones, and they've already been added to our roadmap. So just a quick recap on what those are. So the first one, my timesheet, full week time off, auto-submitted, approved. So this is just, we have some customers that, again, just don't want to have people to submit their time off if they're not working that full week. So they're not working, so they're not going to do that. So we'll release that soon because we had some requests from customers for that.
It was a 2-step process. You had to submit and get your time off approved, and then you needed to still submit your timesheet. So this would like submit the timesheet for you, so you don't have to do it. So while you're on vacation, you don't need to remember to submit.
Especially if you had the missing timesheet notification configured, then people in vacation were getting that notification and they were like, I already submitted my time off. Why do I have to submit my timesheet? So this is solving everything, hopefully.
Yeah, everything is into everything.
We have also missing timesheet notification to use email templates. So this is a request, again, we had from people using the missing timesheet notification feature. You'll be able to do some branding, maybe add logo, custom messaging, some links. So this is a request, again, we got from customers.
Well, we have a few people from that customer APR not on this call, so this is for you. This
Maybe
is
that's
your
the
idea.
coming from that. And then the third one that we've retained, Resource Planner, is a new filter, actually. So I feel like every release we add a new filter in the Resource Planner, but we had the request for being able to filter by project type. So this will officially be developed by our team. Yay. So those were the 3 that won. And then because we are removing 3 from the ideas because they're being developed, we've added 3 new ideas for voting. So if you, first one, display multi-select pick list as checklist, checkbox in the new project page. So this is when you're creating a project. And these are ideas, they're not developed yet, they're up for voting. So if any of these 3 are interesting to you, then next step is voting for them. So this is when you're creating new projects. Just making the whole process of selecting your different options easier. So that's one. The second one, enhance estimates cost and revenue at completion. Maybe Yanick, you want to talk a little bit about that one?
Those 2 fields, estimated cost as completion and revenue at completion, they are calculated based on scheduled hours only and scheduled revenue only, and didn't take into account the time logged. So for past hours, we should take the hours logged and not the scheduled hours. For the future, we should take the scheduled hours. So it would be to align this. So it's a bit more complex, but I think it makes sense to make that change. I just want to make sure if some of you guys are using it and if it would be helpful.
Perfect. And the last one is if you are using our expenses interface, one idea we want to submit is the ability to include PDF files as expense receipt and invoice PDF. Right now, it's only allowing you image file. So we want to know if that would be something helpful. If they are coming as ideas, it's because someone has submitted it in the first place, but then now they're up for vote. So those are for the 3. As a reminder, let's just recap how you can vote for these. So after the webinar, right after, this is your next step, log into the community, go to our ideas tab. Then you'll see we have around 20 ideas. You can use the sorting option on the right. You can, if you filter by recent, if you sort by recent, then you'll see those new ones we've talked about at the top. You can vote for them if they're relevant. You can see the full description as well. You can also sort by which ones are more popular if you're curious to know. And then on the left side, you also have categories. So if you're using specific interface, you can just click on that one and you'll see all the ideas that are related to it. And as always, of course, you can submit new ideas. Some of them are already submitted in the chat from today, so we'll log these, but as well just by reaching out to our support team. Yeah. So let's continue voting. Perfect.
Yeah,
And
let's continue voting. We love this. Great idea that are being submitted, and we're delivering fast. As you can see now, some of the 7 that were selected on the last webinar, some are pretty much ready to release and to get you.
Yep.
So it's a few weeks. Our product team is very efficient.
Yeah. So, and speaking of our next release, so the next one will be available June 10th. So that's in like 3 weeks, just in time for our next webinar, version 50.4. And yeah, you can see all of these at the top. So currently being developed, more than half of them are winning ideas. So again, we're moving really fast. We've also added a little emoji, the new emoji. So you can see the 3 ideas that we've retained and will be developed have a new emoji. So you can see one of them is already coming very, very soon. And then just to do a little recap on what's coming on our next release, I'll actually do a little poll because we haven't done that the last time. So just out of curiosity, and then maybe we can talk about the one that's most popular. So for the features that are coming, I think that's not the right one, actually. No, let me end that one. Never mind. All right. So if there's any of these ideas that you see on the next release that you have questions about, you want to know more, just let us know in the chat. We'll talk about it. Otherwise, again, we talked about the ideas tab from the community. We have the roadmap tab that you can see this full list. And we'll talk about all of these on the next webinar anyways. So perfect. All right. And then before we end the webinar, just a couple of recap that we wanted to do for the next slide, Yanick.
Yep. There might be just 2 more ideas we might be adding, and I think it's worth mentioning it, but it's not official that they've been added. But one is going to be multiple work schedule. I really want your feedback on this. So now a resource can only have 1 work schedule, so 8 hours per week for 40 hours, and this is it. But the feature that we want you to vote on will be based on dates. So in summer, my target is 30%. I'm going to work 30 hours, and then I'm going to come pick up in September full time. So please go vote. This one, I'm curious. I'm sure it's, yeah, just with the thumbs up, we can see it, but want to know your feedback. And the other one is that when you're comparing resource on the project resource planner, to show now we're just showing the number of hours that those resources are assigned on. But the idea would be to show also the project list so you can know which project. So this one might be more visual. We can explain later, but we might add those 2. And because it's summer, it's going to be you have time maybe to vote, and before your next webinar, we can decide which one we're going to move ahead with.
Yeah, so these 2 will be added, I'm assuming very shortly, let's say before the end of the week. So again, by sorting by recent, you're going to see those new ones that we haven't talked about. Perfect. And then in terms of best practices, these are the same best practice we have every webinar. We just put them there so you can see them, and eventually they become just habits on your end. So make sure to upgrade every quarter. Check out our new e-learning courses. Actually, that one I wanted to do a special mention. So we've seen, actually, we released our e-learning in February. Now we're in May. There's more and more people doing those courses. So that's great to see. I'm assuming there's one person in the organization that does it, tells everybody else. And that's why now we're getting more and more people doing them. Be sure to continue doing the e-learning. We have the links for that in the slide deck. If you have any ideas of new e-learning course you'd like to see as well, let us know. And then again, email our support team. Make sure to follow us on LinkedIn. We have a lot of really great content, more and more in the last few weeks, new videos and new recap of the release as well. So be sure to follow us to see all of these. Read our monthly newsletter as well. And then make sure to book your next quarterly check-in with our customer success manager if you haven't done so yet. And then just a little webinar feedback for the end. If you like our webinar, don't like our webinar, be sure to spend a couple of seconds just giving us some feedback. We do these for you. Our next webinar is going to be at the end of June. You can register already. Just go to our website. We have a section for the webinars. You can register for the next one, all the following ones as well. And otherwise, we'll send you invitation as well. And then we'll send a recap of today's webinar follow-up email for everyone that includes the recording and the presentation deck. So stay tuned for that. And otherwise, Yanick, did you want to add anything else?
Right on time. Love it. We're gonna see each other. It's gonna be sunny and hot outside. Yeah, and with a
Perfect.
brand new set of features.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. And we'll see you
Thank
on
you,
next.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Perfect.